What's up, everybody? It is day one of the Tour de Beer. Welcome back to the channel here on YouTube. I am Uncle Frank. This is Team Beer Guts. Also starting to bring in the Hop on Two Wheels podcast all into the mix. If you haven't been noticing that, there's been some changes, some other things. I'm still Team Beer Guts. I'm always Team Beer Guts. But also doing some other promotional stuff. So anyway, none of that really matters. What matters is today is day one of the Tour de France, which means the annual tradition of a different beer every day of the Tour de France, hence the Tour de Beer. Yes. Not able to ride today, unfortunately, but that's okay. I still wore yellow. Didn't wear a yellow jersey, but I'm wearing yellow, so that's fine. Made a quick post on Instagram about the beer, and that's where it'll be. It'll be 30 seconds of the race, 30 seconds of the beer, and that'll be on IG and whatever else, and leaning people here to the channel if they have not been to the channel. But those of you who are subscribed to the channel, you've been like, hey, where's the content? Well, here it is, and here comes another 21 days worth of it. So, day one, beer one. In the past, I've done a couple of different things, and if you're new to this experience, I'll explain it to you real quick. The Tour de Beer has been, let's do a different beer every day of the Tour de France. I used to do big beers for big stages, smaller beers for smaller stages. So if it was a mountain stage, I was drinking an imperial stout or a barley wine. If it was a flat stage, I was drinking a pilsner, or hilly stage, something in between. That became very complicated. Also very, very hard to do on, if there's 3 days in the Alps or in the Pyrenees, that's a lot of like barley wine and imperial stout all in a row. That's hard. That's hard to do. So, I can't do that anymore. So it's just going to be a different beer each day of the tour. So I had beer number one earlier today at a pub, and I got some of it to go. And I'm having another one here, and I want to tell you about this beer. So that's just a quick snippet, but here is where we get to really talk about beer, beer history, beer styles, that type of thing. So, beer number one, day number one. Should I go Italy? Because they're leaving, the Grand Dupont is leaving out of Italy. I've done that before where it's like, hey, let's get a French beer for day one. Let's get a German beer for day one if they're leaving out of Germany, which they've done a few years ago. Italy. Peroni? Is that where I want to go? Not really sure. I've also mentioned about Italian Pilsners, which is a different type of beer, but it's not. It's a Pilsner. And you're using floor malted Italian malt that is going to have a slightly different flavor to it. It's also going to be dry hopped. So Pilsners aren't typically dry hopped. It will be bitter. It should be. Pilsners aren't bland. When people think Pilsner, lager, bland. Nah, not the case. Lagers are very generic. That's not the word I want. General. General is what you're going across. And Pilsners are drier and a little bit more bitter. Should have some snap to it, especially from the dryness and the hops that are being used. Tettnang, Saaz, things like that. Italian Pilsner is dry hopped. Now, don't dry hop it like an IPA. If you're like, hey, I'm going to make an Italian Pilsner, and you dry hop it with Mosaic, I will find you and punch you in your face. Yes, I'm just saying that. No, I will not find you and punch you in the face. But don't do that. Yeah. But it is dry hopped, usually with traditional hops to give a little more hop aroma to it and a different sense of flavor going on with that beer. So you have the Italian floor malted barley. Floor malted barley is differently produced than regular barley, which gives it a softer, rounder mouthfeel, in my opinion. And then you throw the dry hops onto it. Was not able to find an Italian Pilsner after I've just described all that to you, but that's why I'm here. It's to talk about different beers and beer styles. So what's the other one? Yeah, there's the Peroni. I do have an Italian beer lined up, and it was going to be for today, for a beer one. But then I came across this where I was listening to live music today, and I have a German Pilsner. and it's absolutely wonderful. Don't mind me. There's a bee. I don't know how a bee got in here, but I really don't want to stop recording and have to do this over again. So they can do what they're doing. So beer one, Nibbenfluss. Nibbenfluss is a German pilsner. So this is from Tributary Brewing in Kittery, Maine, and Nibbenfluss means tributary. So what they did at Tributary Brewing a little while ago is made a series of lagers and pilsners and did them for the region and then named them for the region. So their Italian Pilsner had an Italian name. Their German Pilsner had a German name. The Czech Pilsner had a Czech name to it. All wonderful. And what a great experience to be able to find the subtleties between lagers. It's still a lager. It's still a Pilsner, but it's slightly different. And that's why you might like one beer over another, is those subtle things. It's not like, I love lagers, I hate IPA, or I love IPA and I hate sours. No, you might like IPA, but like another IPA a little bit more. You might like Pilsner, lagers, but you like another one a little bit more. Czech versus German versus Bohemian, now versus Italian. And I shouldn't say versus, they're not going against each other. It's just a different type of beer. So this one, the Nibbenfluss German-style Pilsner. And I was sitting with Woody Mott, and I was talking to Todd Mott, owners, brewers, and I should have asked him a little bit more today. But we were listening to music and just hanging out and having a good time. And, well, that's really what beer is supposed to be about. Today was one of those days where I needed to get out of the house. I could just sit and have some beers and sit on the couch, but I would try to do laundry. I would try to do dishes. I needed to get out and go away. I needed to force myself to relax. So I went out, listened to some live music, put my leg and my knee up on a stool and just kind of relaxed. And it was a good time. So yeah, that describes my day. The beer, German style Pilsner. So what you're looking for in a German Pilsner, different than a Czech Pilsner, different than Bohemian Pilsner, is a little bit more snap, a little more dryness, a little more crispness. You're looking at a beer that's in between 5 and 5.5%, light in color. The aroma is going to be on the earthy side, so hops. And again, I didn't ask him about it, but hops should be Tettnang, Saaz. Wow, that guy is really bothering me today. Sorry. Super noble, your noble hop. So earthy and floral all going in at the same time. Your taste on this beer is going to be refreshing. A beer of summer. It is something you want to be able to have with your, I don't know, hot dog and your corn on the cob. It's also one to just kind of sit and listen to some music with. It is a drinkable, quaffable beer. So German Pilsner, it will also be a little bit more bitter than, say, your Czech or Bohemian Pilsner. Czech, Bohemian, I think of Bohemian, body, and those have a little bit more rounded flavor, a little more body to them. Where your German Pilsner is a little drier, a little more, I want to say sharp, but I don't mean sharp in a bad way. It's just, that's my description that's in my head, is a sharper beer is your German Pilsner. Very, very refreshing. Super wonderful beer. So I'm going to snack on one of those while I'm, I don't know, looking over some other things, getting ready to prep some food for tomorrow. I'm going to have a nice fat kid breakfast tomorrow while I watch day 2 of Le Tour. Let's real quick talk about Le Tour de France. A Frenchman is in yellow. And you know what? It's the Tour de France. I mean, let's think about it. That's what they want. The country wants a Frenchman. And as they should. We want exciting racing. This was both. Romain Bardet was in the breakaway, pulled away with another guy, a group of guys, and then started to pull away even more with a teammate. And I unfortunately don't remember his name. I should have wrote it down before doing this little recording. I did not. But Romain Bardet it just seems like one of those guys. I mean, he's riding for a lot of years. He's been in the Tour for a long time. This is his fourth stage win, but his first time in yellow, from what I understand. So that's pretty cool. Frenchman, French cycling, finally gets yellow in what is probably his last year of World Tour racing, and he gets the yellow jersey. He is going to go in. So day one, no one has the yellow. So day two is actually your first day to be able to run the maillot jaune. And Romain Bardet gets to do that. And what an incredible ride that he had. He and a teammate, as they finally broke away, teammate's super young kid, and I don't know, maybe could have like just ran away and dropped him or something, but that wasn't the case. So, sorry, I need a little water with my beer too. And they rode together and they rode hard, and there was so much respect shown between these two riders that as it overtook at the finish line, and hey, spoiler, if you haven't seen it already, I'm going to tell you what happened. Romain Bardet comes around, crosses the finish line, and as he's crossing the finish line, he turns back and points at his teammate. Boom! Like, gives him the, yes, like, because of this guy, I got this win. And I just thought it was awesome. It was an awesome moment. The peloton was charging, coming after them, and I'd say there were, I don't know, 30 seconds, if that, behind them. No, it was less than that. It was probably like 20. About 20 seconds behind them. They almost got caught. If there was more tarmac, they probably would have got caught. But just an amazing ride by Romain Bardet and his teammate and DSM, which I really like their kits, by the way. It reminds me of MasterCard. I don't know what it is, if it's the circles that are intertwined or whatever, but anyway. They ride Scott bikes. I have a Scott bike, just saying. I just thought it was great. So day one of the Tour was exciting. If the next 20 days of racing are that, it's going to be a good Tour de France. So that is Tour de Beer, Tour de France. We're about 12 minutes in. Usually it's going to be about 5 to 7 minutes, but I wanted to give a little intro for those of you who have not known about the Tour de Beer and what it is that I do. Here, I'm just an amateur cyclist, a professional brewer. I love to drink beer, talk about beer, review beer, and ride my bike, or watch bike racing on days that I can't ride. So until then, we'll see you the next time. Be good to yourselves, be good to each other, ride bikes, drink beer, and do epic shit. Cheers!